So this is Mucha's night's rest. Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. This is what I'm working on for Summer with the Masters, and I wanted to give you a good look at it before it hits my work table because I have been rolling this up and like almost like a scroll to work on the sections that I'm working on. So let's go back up here. The panel is completed on the left, and then we go straight down. You can see the demarcation, except for right here. I went straight across because I was doing self-care Sunday, and I wanted to finish her face while we talked about the listening path. And so she's finished. You can see she's finished up to the knee, and then right below the knee, that all has to be filled in. But I did the border, did the bottom border, which I love, and I came up the right side, and here's where we're going to be today. We're going to be where it's taped off up there. I have so much to tell you guys since our get together for our live whip on Thursday, and I'm going to get this on my work table, and we're going to chat, and I'm going to work. Get your whip out. I'll see you in a second. And we're back. How is everyone? I didn't even give you a little glimpse of Foofy. He was sitting near the door. It's so cute. He's looking for the birds outside. Happy Catter Day. So this is what that panel looks like when she is sitting on my desk. I have her rolled up. I have her rolled up on the sides. See my clip here? And then there's one on the other end. Am I getting that in the shot? There we go. And we're going to be working right here. I'm going to turn the light. It's one thing I like about this lamp. I didn't like it when John brought it home, but okay. First, I just wanted to say that welcome back if you're back. And welcome if you're new. I am so excited to have you here as I work on this Mucha panel called Night's Rest. And this piece has been a joy to work on, and I can't wait to share some updates with you. First, I want to give you a huge thank you to everyone that showed up for the live whip and chat this past Thursday. Oh, we have some pretty ABs there. Maybe we'll start there. We had such an enlightening discussion on Julia Cameron's chapter about communicating beyond the veil. And it was a follow-up to Sunday's Self-Care Sunday. So on Thursday, I had a live whip and chat, and we talked about communicating beyond the veil, which led to some fascinating conversations. And it's incredible how art and creativity can connect us to a deeper, almost mystical parts of ourselves. I felt like that during my first whip and chat when I was doing Van Gogh's irises. I really felt like that painting had some kind of an effect on me. I know that it did. It had an effect on me that I did such a deep dive into Van Gogh, and I actually studied that painting. I think I was telling you guys that I live in Philly, and I had been to the Barnes Museum, and Barnes was a private collector of artwork that nobody wanted. They thought, oh, this is junk. It's not good, but he had an eye, and he picked up some fabulous pieces on his own, and everything is just, is it a full moon? Is there some kind of crazy moon happening? But he picked up some fabulous pieces on his own, and the Van Goghs that I've seen over at the Barnes is the Postman, which I love. And I just love his face. I love his blue uniform. I love the blue and the yellow. It's just fabulous, that painting. And is this wax? Yeah. And what else did I see there? He has the vase with the roses in it. That's very nice. I like that one. It's kind of pastel-y. But I did study the painting, the irises, and it did have like some kind of, it did have like a sort of mystical and a deeper connection that like kind of connected me to a part of myself. And I think when I was thinking about that, I have a spray bottle that I use for my ABs, and I just spray on a little piece of cellophane that I just turned over. I use that as a way to place my ABs instead of having water on my desk. Let me see. This is, which AB is this? There's two of them. One's a J. I think I put J away. Hold on. So we are going to start placing these AB drills. I've spritzed a little bit of water on the piece of cellophane that I peeled back. I don't know if you can see that. Here you go. So what I do is I spritz some water with this, and that's what I use to pick up my ABs. It's better than me just having water on the, like, tapping off and all that. So ever since I ran out of my Glass Plus, which is what I used to use, I was, I keep that spray bottle out because my hair is, and my skin is so dry from this weather that I leave a little spray bottle with some purified water in there. And sometimes, with this heat, I just give myself like a little spritz because it's just so hot. And I was like, let me just, instead of getting water that Foofy all of a sudden thinks that this is his water, and he gets up on the, my desk and he drinks the water in there. I'm like, what is wrong with this cat? It's not your water. Stop drinking that water. But anyway, I was saying about Julia Cameron. I really did appreciate that Julia shared her own writing and experiences with two of her friends that had passed over, that she talks to all the time, and it gives her comfort, and it has her, it gives her comfort that the relationship didn't end. It changed, but it didn't end. And, she seeks their counsel a lot, and I really like that. And if I edited this out, I was saying, I don't know where I left off at, because twice I put these on the wrong symbol, or maybe even 3 times. I don't know why I'm obsessed with these little circles over here, but I was saying that, it's last Thursday during the live, we talked about communicating beyond the veil, which led to some really fascinating conversations, and people, that shared, heartfelt stories. And I was thinking about this, even after it ended, and thinking about, it's incredible how art and creativity can connect us to a deeper, almost mystical part of ourselves, because I think I may have brought up Van Gogh. And when I did my first Summer with the Masters, I did Van Gogh's irises, and that was a big undertaking for me. I had never done a big canvas. I was doing these small canvases, and I just happened to be in Michael's, and it was on sale, and it looked like they were getting ready their inventory, because they're now Maker's Mark. I believe that Michael's is Maker's Mark, or maybe Diamond Dots is Maker's Mark. I'm not sure. I'm not that fluent in diamond painting companies, and I got really obsessed with that painting. I mean, it really did move me in a way that I felt very connected to it. And, almost like it was, I had said this when I was painting it, those irises, when I had looked at the original painting, and I had looked at Van Gogh's painting of the irises. I just stared at it for hours. I just kept going back to it. I journaled about it. I kept looking at it, and it's the way that I don't know if it's the brush strokes or the color or the way that each iris was different, and each one was like they were in different stages of opening. It was almost like they were talking to me, and I was like, oh my gosh. Am I being, I almost felt like, not that I almost felt like, but I was becoming obsessed with this painting. and really, 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 really touched by it. And the last time I had felt anything like that was when the Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci expedition was here in Philadelphia at the Philadelphia Museum of Art. And they brought in Leonardo's drawings, and they brought in the Pieta from Michelangelo that came in from Italy. And, you know, to be in the presence of that kind of creation from the 14th century. I mean, I stood at Leonardo's drawings. My friends left me. I think they had lunch and all, and I was still standing in one position, and I had tears streaming down my face. I was so overwhelmed with emotion by this man living in the 14th century, and just the drawings of flight and of man and of structure and architecture. I was spellbound. I really couldn't even move. And that's the last time that I felt like that. Oh, I think I need some water here. So I was wondering too, did anyone else ever have any interesting experiences or thoughts, maybe after our discussion, or in general, just on a painting that you've done, or any kind of craft for that matter? This is a whip and chat, and so maybe your work in progress is a diamond painting, maybe it's something else, but I'd be so curious to know if you've ever felt so connected to something that you were working on. Like maybe it's even like, I know when I used to crochet things, I knew that if they were going to someone that was very personal but not mystical, I felt a lot of joy and care in every stitch that I put in, to be able to give it to the person, keep them in mind that this is for them, but not anything mystical. I'm strictly speaking a mystical experience with art. And I think you can go down that road when you do something like Summer with the Masters and you do a master painting. And I think that that's really something that Diamond Dots did not hit on with their, because I think Diamond Dots maybe was the only company at the time. I don't know how long Summer with the Masters has been going on, but I think that there were only a very few companies that were doing masters, and I think maybe Diamond Dots was the leader. And I think that they hit on, being able to reproduce art that was in the public domain, but even when they came out with their master kit, it was a big pet peeve for me that they didn't add anything about the artist in the kit. There was a lot of things that I thought that they missed in that kit. I felt as though the tools could have been better, and they could have given the more experienced painter more experienced things to work with. And so, but I think that the big miss was not including the artist. And so, when I go on these deep dives, in fact, I'm having another one made, another piece of art that's in the public domain made, because Girl in Feather Hat with Boa, and if you guys were here for my Clint masterclass, then she took a deep dive there too. I was obsessed with those two paintings. I think you kind of had to be, because they were just, I became such a Klimt. And I heard from a lot of my friends that I went to school with, and they're like, I've always loved Klimt. Where have you been? I'm like, I don't know. But I just did like a deep dive on him too. I really enjoyed learning about him and his art and his, I always enjoy learning how people create, what moves them, and where the idea comes from. And there's some great ideas out there, but I'm always really interested in like, what was the spark of creation? Like, what sparked this idea? Where do you create? What is your workspace like? That's always fascinated me. And so the next thing that happened after, I hope it wasn't too recognizable how quickly I got off the whip and chat, but there was a phone call that kept coming in, and it was my mother. And so my mom was 84 yesterday, and we're having a huge party for her tomorrow, where my husband has his band, and I need to get one of these off. And I was making all the food, and my mother called me up and said, well, I took 2 tests and I have COVID. And so, party off. And so that's what the she was interrupting my videotaping. I told her, I was like, I'm videotaping during this time. I'm like, why is she calling me? It must be important. And so, of course it was, because she was not feeling well. And she was getting more and more agitated the closer the party was coming, you know, maybe because she wanted to do things and wasn't able to get them done because she was tired, but she wasn't saying anything. And so that's it, you know, party off. And, you know, my husband does it. This is his old band, so he doesn't play with them anymore. But these guys are all like booked for stuff, and you know, to even get them all together. Is this wax in here? I hope so. To even get them all together in July, that they were all free and they weren't booked out, it was just like unreal. And we were so hyped up about that. We were like, oh my God, I can't believe you got Anthony Liberto and you got Johnny Barone, and they're all coming over, and a few of the other guys that are here all the time. they're you know, Stash, and you guys know Dante because I introduced his song to you. You know, they were coming, and they were going to play drums and guitar, and it all got canceled. And so I was just like, just breathe, Elisa, just breathe. I'm glad I didn't get too crazy with the menu and what I had already gotten done, because I'll tell you, you know, it's only me and John here. You know, my son does a good job at helping us. You know, he comes over and he'll come over for dinner and stuff, and I'll send him home with stuff, and John takes stuff to work. He doesn't really go out and buy his lunch, so, you know, that would have been okay, but I'm glad I didn't get too far ahead of myself. And I was like, you know what, you're getting yourself all worked up because this is me. This is how my brain works. You know, it gets overwhelmed very easily, and I just needed to have that structure of like, this is what I'm doing on here. And I did a lot of my prep work like a sous chef. And then, you know, Saturday, today would have been the big cooking and baking portion of the party. And then John had the running around for the alcohol and the ice and the coolers and setting up the tent. That had to be done too. He was supposed to take today off. And when that happened, he was like, hey, you know what? I just got back 2 of my annual days that, you know, I was going to take off, you know, Saturday to prep for the party, and then Monday to, you know, do some R&R, but then, you know, help your mom out too. So, party's canceled. The best laid plans, you know. I don't know what it is, but now I'm going to take these circles out because they're torturing me. Is this another? Yes, so this is the second AB in this canvas. Again, pink. So we'll do those too. And I just swished the water away, but it's okay. So if you guys would just like, again, if I don't know what I'm editing out of this portion of the diamond painting, because I 3 times I put these in the wrong place. And I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? But tomorrow, again, is Self-Care Sunday. And I hope you guys all caught up to that. I'm doing Self-Care Sunday at night as a weekend wind down. And I'm telling you guys, I have been doing a lot of Yoga Nidra, which is like a focused attention with your eyes closed. I think that's the way that Yoga Nidra is described, focused attention. So it just gives you such a jolt of calming your central nervous system. And I needed to do that a lot this week. In fact, I did it yesterday. I put Yoga Nidra on, and sometimes you will fall asleep. And I fell asleep, and one rolled into the other one. And when I looked, it was like 3 hours. So I had really needed to, because I was feeling like anxiety and tension, my shoulders, and you know, just like feeling immobilized, catatonic, you know, because I'm like, I gotta get done. And like, even though I know I have enough time on Saturday to get it done, I was still panicking. I was still putting myself into that stressful mode. But, you know, it's like, well, then, you know, I have self-care Sunday and I have Saturday with, you know, Saturday is summer with the masters and self-care Sunday. Am I going to have enough time? You know, and I just go down this rabbit hole. So I was spiraling. So I did a lot of yoga nidra, and I said, you know what? I had been going through a lot of my records and dumping a lot of stuff out of my computer that I don't need anymore. And I found a lot of my own constructed yin yoga classes that I used to teach. And I thought, how lovely if I could, oh, that does go there. If I could do like maybe a 10-15 wind down for you guys that, you know, you could, if you're using your diamond painting to wind down and then listen at nighttime, because it might be very relaxing for you to do this at nighttime and wind down. I'm a night owl, so I got my best work done at, you know, between the hours of 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. That was my time to be alive. And my friends know it too. They would call me too. If it was 2 o'clock in the morning, they're like, she's up, call her. Oh my God. There was a few times that John actually called me too. And he wouldn't call me to talk. He didn't call me. I everything to me is a phone call because that's the generation that I grew up in. But a few times he would text me like at 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and he would just write Petal Bell, because that was the name of my store, because that was a kind of sort of nickname for me. And he would just, you know, one time he woke me up at 3 a.m. and I was like, who is texting me at 3 a.m.? What's going on? And it was John, and all it said was Petal Bell. And when I went to work the next day in my restaurant in Philly, I walked in, and on the bar there was a highball glass, but we only served beer and wine. It was a highball glass and a bottle opener, and I was like, where did these come from? It was like a really nice bottle opener. It wasn't the like the waitstaff bar bottle openers. And they were like, oh, 2 of your friends here were last night having pizza. And I was like, oh, I know exactly who it is, Johnny and Donna. And of course it was Johnny's highball glass, because, you know, he would walk out of places with a highball glass, you know, and then just jump over to the next place. And I, you know, and not just him, most people, you know, they walk into your place, they got their own drink. If you're a BYOB, they got their own drinks in their hand already, and then they leave their barware behind. And so I remember putting on Facebook, and I knew my girlfriend Donna. He carries highball glasses, and she carries bottles of wine with her. So I knew exactly who it was. I'm like, Johnny and Donna were in. They were like, yeah. He's real loud. She's real funny. I'm like, yeah. I said, that's fun. They came in, they had pizza. I'm never here when my friends come in. I was never in my place when Johnny came in to have pizza. Ever. I think he came to one of my parties, but he was too busy with the dates that he brought. He wasn't eating. And I remember putting on Facebook, Marilyn Monroe and Dean Martin, you left your highball glass and your bottle opener here. So that was my time to really get a lot of creative stuff done between 2 and 4 a.m. So Sundays are like, that's my wind down time. I think we're done. We're not done. We're not done with all the, I missed a few. I missed one here. Oh, I missed a few there too. What am I doing? It's a weird day today. It's weird. You know why? Because my schedule had something else on it. And my nervous system, I don't think, has calmed down yet to say, you know, you've moved on to something else. Let it go. All right. This is this one. They go in here. These pretty pink flowers. here we go. Come over here. And then you could just, you know, swipe this away with your hand, your water. No harm. I think that they stick better, actually. Now, I don't know, maybe the water is dripping down the sides a little bit. But I think that they're, you know, they stick better because I had a hard time getting them off. And then I missed a few of these. Let's put these on. You could tell these are the ones that I pulled up because they're stuck together. So as I was saying, you know, maybe your Sunday wind down is, you know, just doing your diamond painting, you know, last few hours before the Monday Madness begins. I never got like that, but I had friends that really, they really had a hard time enjoying Sunday. Like they would be okay at brunch and all, but like when brunch was over, I don't know if maybe it was that they really didn't have anything else on their calendar, or maybe they were going home and like, you know, you had that time to meet up with friends, but now you got to get ready for the week, you know, whether it's kids or even yourself that you have to get ready. You know, I remember I used to take all my clothes out and be like, this is what I'm wearing, you know, Monday, Tuesday, checking the weather, you know, do I need an umbrella, throw it in the briefcase, whatever, and go. You know, make sure I had stuff in for lunch and all that. But this one goes in here. All right, let's not confuse these two pinks, these two pink ABs. I really don't think it would matter because they're flowers anyway. So it's so, and they're so subtle. I don't know how it's coming up on the camera, but it's so subtle. I really don't want to play around with black. I'm at the end of these black drills and they're driving me mad. They really are driving me mad. They're getting very, very, very trashy. But so talking about Julia and how she ended her, that chapter was with one of her friends who is a medium, and her friend and Julie was very, you know, happy and excited to talk to her about listening. How, you know, how do you listen? Because the listening path is about not only how you listen and how I listen, but how all different people listen in their professions, whether they're musicians or doctors, or how do you listen? And her friend had said that when she is listening, you know, Earthbound, I think her name was Leslie, she said, you know, Earthbound Leslie listens to respond. And that's my husband. He listens to respond. And she was saying how psychic medium Leslie listens with everything. She listens with her whole heart and soul and all her senses. And she was saying how it's a multi-sensory experience. So I don't know that in my speaking to people that have crossed over, if I get messages that feel that way, multi-sensory, but I also have not done my homework that I said I was going to do with, you know, using my journal and creating a dialogue, because that's what Julia does. Am I in this shot here, or am I? Okay. That's what Julia does. She creates a dialogue. So she will sit down with her pen in hand and she will say, can I speak to, I forgot her girlfriend's name. Oh, began with an E. Began with an E too, an EL too. But Alberta, she would say, can I speak to Alberta? And Alberta would come through and she would take dictation as to what Alberta was saying. And I've never had that kind of experience, but I would like to try it. And so I wanted to try that in my journal this week. And, you know, I was like, oh, I don't have time to sit and do this, because you do want to be focused and all, but what I was saying with, you know, doing the yoga nidra and doing this Sunday wind down, I'm finally coming back around to it, was I had found all these, my own crafted classes that I would teach. And I thought this would be lovely for my subscribers to have something to unwind to, kind of tailored to what it is that we do here, you know, kind of craft a sort of a wind down. Maybe you fall asleep to it. Maybe you just relax to it. Maybe you close your eyes for 10 minutes to it, whatever. But I would love to do something like that on my channel where I have like these like little meditations for art, or, you know, giving yourself a break, or if you're feeling overwhelmed, or if you're feeling burnout. I would love to do little meditations like that. And so, of course, you know, like I said, my mind is always going. When I share one idea and I get it off my board, another one comes in, and that's what I love about the creative process. We should have a class just on the creative process. I think that that would be interesting too. And I know too, with me, I really should not start filming. This is something else that I'm noticing about myself. I really should not start filming as soon as I sit down. I really should probably diamond paint for a little bit, and then, because I think that sometimes when I listen to my videos, I'm very hyped up in the beginning, and then I start to hit a groove where it's like, I seem to be, in my opinion, more relaxed. And I would welcome any feedback. If you're like, yeah, you are kind of crazy when you sit down. The espresso is not far from me. It actually is. This is something new that I've been doing. I've been making my espresso and leaving it all over the house. It's like a little shot. That's why it's called espresso. You're supposed to drink it fast. It's not because it makes you speed. It's because it's a quick coffee. It's a quick shot. Just a little baby taste. And, you know, I think I made it and I left it. And I got these brand new Nespresso pods. And there's one. In fact, I'm going to go get it. Because if anybody has an espresso, you have to try this one. Tokyo. Look at this beautiful box. Tokyo Lungo by Nespresso. And I have to tell you, so what you do, I have the Virtuo, which is the bigger capsules, and I have the original Nespresso. So if you put this in your espresso in the, I have like a Pixie Nespresso machine. There we go. And now it's on the floor. Okay, I'll get it after. But if you put this in your machine, you hit the espresso button twice. And it's so gorgeous. Oh my God. This was the first one that I opened, and the first sip that I had, does this come up backwards? The first sip that I had was just like, oh my God, heaven. Does it tell you what the notes are? They should. I just know that it was, oh, flowery floral. And that sounds funny, but I have to tell you that when I made cupcakes in the cafe, when I made cupcakes in Petalbell, I used to make these mini cupcakes because I'm a girl, and, you know, sometimes we want to have, like, I used to sell them like in threes, like, so that you could try like all different ones. My best seller was Rose vanilla cupcake with rose buttercream frosting, and I used to put edible glitter on them. They were very Marie Antoinette looking. That was my inspiration for that, for those little cuppy cakes, mini cakes. Love those. And I would actually get the extracts from, where did I get them from? I think I used to get them sent in directly from France. Oh, it wasn't a liquid extract. It was more like a sugar paste. Oh my God, they were exquisite. They were exquisite. I really have to start baking again. I think when the weather breaks, I want to start baking a little bit again. My cousin will be very happy. He used to torture me all the time. He used to send me pictures of cakes. It'd be like, when you come back to Philly, make sure you have this. And make sure you bake this off before you leave for New York. Before you leave New York and come into Philly. I'll take some cupcakes too, please. He used to go crazy for my chocolate cupcakes. They were good. They were delicious. Because I had a cream cheese frosting on them. They were really good. And what else? So this Sunday is the next chapter, the next to last chapter of the listening path. And this week we'll be talking about listening to our heroes. And I read this along with you guys. Like I am having the experience in real time like you guys are. And my husband got very intrigued by the title. And I'm like, well, why don't you join us? Because my husband is talking about his heroes all the time. And he's not listening, but because he's not here. And he doesn't have time to watch this before tomorrow. But I'm going to say that one of his heroes, of course, is Ayn Rand, who created objectivism. She created her own philosophy. He loves Ayn Rand. He loves Atlas Shrugged. He loves everything that she's wrote and her philosophy. So I think that she is going to be one of his heroes that he talks about if this actually does go off tomorrow and he does decide to come in, because he was like, oh, I'd like to be there for that one. I'm like, oh yeah, sure, join us. Who else? I believe Jim Croce is going to be another one of his heroes, musical heroes. I think he loves Jim Croce. There are two off my head, and I feel like there's somebody very, very obvious. Like, I'm saying heroes that we don't know. Like, we all have heroes in real life, people that we know. But I'm saying people that we don't know. I think that they're going to be his two heroes that he talks about. My husband loved Van Gogh, loved Vincent, and I think that he's going to come in there. So they're the three that I'm saying before he even tells you tomorrow who his heroes may be. Now, I have to meet with my cousin early in the morning, and so we'll be filming this tomorrow night for sure. Who knows? Maybe we'll even do a live. Maybe we'll do like a pop-up live. I don't know. It depends. Sometimes John is like, yeah. But then other times he's just like, oh, I might want to think about it some more. Let me see. Does this have a tab on it? It surely does. Take it out. It's going to make, no, not even a tab. They're stuck together. For me, heroes. I think my heroes are more like everyday people that accomplish the unthinkable. They're my heroes. When I first met my husband, when I first started dating my husband, I know my husband from when I was a little girl. When I first started dating my husband, and he would make dinner for us, and we would always watch something on television. He said, I want you to watch a movie with me, and I think you're going to love it. And it was called Waiting for Sugar Man. And I'm not going to tell you guys the story, but Rodriguez became a hero to me. Rodriguez was a guitar player, singer, songwriter from Detroit. And at one point in his career, he was bigger than Elvis. And you're like, I never heard of this guy. But if you want to watch a movie that will touch your soul, that will make you just be every emotion. What do they say, the kids? All the feels? Yeah, all the feels. This movie left me speechless, and I am such a huge fan. And my husband, I can't tell you, but anyway, my husband turned me on to his music, and every now and again I put it on because it's like bittersweet sometimes. Did you ever love somebody's music, but it's just so bittersweet that sometimes it's hard to listen to? Oh God, yeah. So he would absolutely be a hero of mine. And then I don't know, maybe something jars my memory when I, begin to read the chapter with you guys. And this particular drill always clumps. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the color. I noticed the light ones don't clump, but these sometimes do. It's this color here. It always clumps. It always manages to find a mate before the before it as it comes down to the bottom, as it comes down to the last of them. It's like the blacks get trashy. Bottom of the barrel, I think, and maybe it's just more noticeable because they're black and they're so shiny, and you know, you just really start to see the junk or the dust. Ugh. And it's like every time I have to do the black, I really have to separate them out first before, you know, I do anything, because it's like you really, I was up on them last night when I was doing this section here, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm laying them down. Are they shiny or do they have holes in them? I'm like poking them with that super sharp tweezer. I'm like, no, they have holes in them. But not all of them did. Some of them were just shiny, but it was, like I said, the end of the barrel for the black. And they were making me a little nuts. And I'm like, I don't want to see black. I don't want to see square anymore. And I don't know, with this new custom kit that I had made from Dreamer Design. I can't wait to show you guys. It should be here next week. Oh God, she's such a beauty. And get it kitted up. Oh, so beautiful. I don't know if it's a round or a square. I think I'm going to lose my mind if it's a square. I think if it's a square, I think what I'm going to do is, just in case tomorrow, I don't think I'm going to use Bud the Tabby Cat tomorrow for Self-Care Sunday. I think what I'm going to use is Rico. Rico has not seen the light of day. And I think I'm going to take Rico out. And do I have any of these in here? No. Okay. I think I'm going to take Rico out and take him out for a spin, because I think he's around. I hope he's around. I don't know how this happened, where I just stopped buying round drills and I have a lot of squares. So I think Self-Care Sunday, I mean, I think for well, let me just say, for Self-Care Sunday and diving into the next chapter of Julia Cameron's listening path, which is all about our heroes, I'm really looking forward to exploring how the people we admire can influence our creative journey. That said, I want you guys to think about who are some of your heroes and how they impacted your art, your life, or both. Now, I mean, I think of, you know, everyday heroes when I think about heroes. So, but I think with Rodriguez, I think he's impacted some of my sketch work. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think he's impacted my sketch work. Yeah, so that's something to think about for tomorrow. And being that it's like a wind down Sunday now, I think that's something, I think having positive things to think about before you go into a new work week. Or maybe you're going on vacation. Oh my gosh, like what is going on? I turned on the airport and I was just like, I don't think I'm ever getting on a plane again. I really don't. I really, really don't. I used to love flying when I was single and young, and you know, I went away with girlfriends one time and that was it for me. I was like, I'm done. I you know, they're fighting, I'm in the middle, always the peacemaker. You know, or just like, you could be best friends with somebody. It's totally different when you have to live with them, even if it's for a short amount of time, like a vacation rental. I'm like, I can't live with anybody. I just, they're making me crazy. And that really began my journey of, you know, I could go to the shore. Hell yeah, I could go to the shore. But I'm going to spend down the shore what I would spend for a weekend in France. And so I would jump on a plane and I would go down to Florida, and I would go like Friday after work. And I would, you know, wake up Saturday morning, was beach day. Like, I remember getting to Florida and just like chilling out and like, you know, just feeling so grown up, and, you know, traveling on my own, and being in a hotel room and putting on the TV and ordering room service, because it's Friday. Friday always killed me. I couldn't do anything on Friday. And then, getting in a tub and, doing all my self-care, and then, getting up early in the morning to go lay on the beach. And I wouldn't take my flight home till Monday. I would go right to work. And then Sunday would be like a chill day for me to go shopping, get myself together. And, my boss was great because I was there all the time. All the time. He'd say to me, "You're 21 years old. Why are you still in this office?" But I loved what I did. I worked for a real estate developer, and it was also exciting to me to be working and watch something come to life from a blueprint. And I just loved my job. I was there early in the morning. I was there late at night. And so if I wanted to fly in on a Monday morning, he was chill with that. So I missed that. But I did it. So then done. Where's my next color? I have everything off to the side. And do I need this color? I think I do. 3 circles, 4 diamonds. So, and I think for Self-Care Saturday, being that we're talking about artists and we talked a little bit about the creative process, what about the artistic process? What does your creative routine look like? Do you have any kind of rituals or habits that help you get into the zone? I was thinking about this recently too, which is where this question came up at, because the last time I had a creative ritual was when I was teaching Zentangle. I got certified in Zentangle, again, a meditative art. And there's a lot of principles that mirror yoga with Zentangle. Just listen to the name. And there's a lot of gratitude and appreciation for the tools, for the paper, for the creative process that you go through when you create a Zentangle. That's the last time I could think that I had some sort of ritual when it came to art. So, do I have a ritual here? I don't think that I have like a designated time that I diamond paint, and I don't have a designated time that and it probably hurts me, really. I don't have a designated schedule that these videos go up. So I think that it does hurt me. But like I said, if you know me, you know I'm kind of like, I think it's time to give this putty up. It's not cooperating. And this is new putty. I put it in yesterday. Doesn't want to cooperate. I think if you know me, you know I'm a kind of like fly by the seat of your pants kind of girl. I can't be held to a schedule. I just get again. Here's that anxiety that comes at me. I know myself very well, and so that if I have like, I got a deadline, I got to get this done, I got to get this up, I got, it just takes the joy of the art out of my life, and I don't want to feel like I'm doing a job here. I do this because I love it. I do it because I get to meet all of you and talk to you. And I thought we had a great discussion on Thursday live. I thought the people that showed up, joined in, you guys were talking to each other. Diamonds and Doxy was here. And so subscribers were like thrilled to meet her, and they were going to go and, go over to her channel and subscribe to her channel, which I love. I love that. That's what this is about. That's the networking and the community, and I think that we have a hell of a community. I've said this from the beginning. I think the diamond painting community is they just rock. I think I keep calling that a J, and it's not a bracket. Oh no, it is a J. I keep calling it a bracket. That's not a bracket. So, just wondering about your creative routine and your habits. Like, do you get up? Do you get a cup of coffee? Like my creative routine is, of course, the artist way. I get up and I write as soon as I get up because I need to. I love this love this thin placer, and I just was on Amazon this early this morning. Every time I go to get these placers, it's called Star or Staroar. Most of their diamond painting products are sold out. I don't know what it is with this company. I don't know what they got going on, but well, I don't know. I can get skinny placers, you know, you can order a million skinny placers off of Amazon, but these I love. I just love. And this little plastic thing came from like Temu. And it's like one of my favorite pens. It's just that the drills line up, because I usually don't go for a placer this big. This is a 10. But these drills will line up every single time with the drill boxes. I don't have to do a lot of moving around. Whereas if I use the Diamond Art Club one, I feel like I have to go back in and fidget with the line. With these, I don't have to. So, where was I? Because I got totally interrupted. I interrupt myself and I don't know what I'm talking about after. Oh my God. Yeah, so you guys were meeting, Diamond and Doxy, and I love that. I think that we have a really good community here. And then, you know, I was thinking about, like, am I going to get this panel done? I don't know. I mean, by the 31st, it could happen. I don't know. It could happen. Did I go over the line here? No. But if it doesn't, I wrap it up, because I really do want to. I never did that early on in my diamond painting career. I never ordered another diamond painting until one was finished. And now here I am. I'm in the middle of 3 of them. I have this one out. I have Girl with the Feather Hat and Boa out. And I have Bud the Tabby Cat out. And I have one on the way. And I have 2 more upstairs. I never took out Daydreamer from Curtis Reikovich. I kitted it up, but then I never, you know, brought it back out. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that painting anymore, you know. I mean, it's cute and all, but I'd rather work on a artist painting, like a custom painting, I think. We're back at it again with this putty. Should I just take it out and put a new piece in? Because I just put a new piece in. Oh, that's the thing. I don't know why I'm trying to make something work that does not want to work. So let's take it out. These tweezers still scare me, because you see how they're gliding towards your fingers? I have stabbed myself so many times with these tweezers. I can hear my boss every time he used to watch me open something. He used to say, Lisa, point the scissor or whatever away from you, please. He was an orthopedic surgeon. Please point it away from you. Okay. I don't know which one this is. My putties are very messy. I don't ever get it like neatly in there. All right, I'm going to start over. There are some things I could do and some things I just can't. This is a can't. And I don't like saying that I can't do something. But there you go, back in the hole. So this is I just saw that the Diamond Painting Shop dropped another Mucha, and it's the cognac, the girl with the bottle of cognac. And I know I want to do winter, because she's in the green, and any shade of green is my favorite. And it's a winter, and I was married in the winter, so I tend to go towards these winter paintings now. And it's a Mucha, and you know, his work is just so iconic. Mucha's work is just so iconic, and if you're a Mucha lover, what do you think makes his art stand out for you? I mean, for me, I know right off the bat, it's like just the elegance and the line work, I think. And then in studying him and what was his artistic process, I really appreciate that he didn't just pose these models. He really did study their body and how fabric would lay, and he really did study the feminine physique. And I also love in looking up his models that there was their likeness came through. Like, he didn't change their physical features at all. You can almost pick out the model and the painting because their faces were just identical. And I think that just a combination of elegance and detail makes me really appreciate Mucha. Is this oozing out over here? I have some putty on the canvas. I mean, that heat did break, but oh my gosh, that heat was terrible. And now all these people that are stranded, and I don't know what to believe anymore. Like, oh no, it's not a cyber attack. Well, what is it? That's why I am so hesitant to turn on the television. I really am. I just feel like there's not much that I can handle anymore. And I don't mean like, I can't handle it. I mean, it's just like, it doesn't seem like it's real. What is going on in the world today? It just doesn't seem like it's real. And it is, of course, and we have to accept that it is. And that's the scary part for me, is really just accepting that this is what's going on out there today. I never thought in my lifetime, we're still trying to figure out, JFK. I never thought I would see a day like we're trying to assassinate a former president, and at a rally. It just. And now, my husband got up, he goes to bed so early that when I'm ready to go to bed, he's getting up. Like, this is a new thing for him. I was turning in at around 2 a.m. this morning, and he was getting up, and it doesn't bother me if the TV's on, but he had put on like this new part of the investigation where they think that there's a second shooter, and he's like, it's JFK all over again. I'm like, I know. And like, you're listening to it and it's giving me such anxiety, this whole thing, like what a divine intervention that was, that, like I said to John, I'm not supposed to be here. I had my son 16 weeks early. He was born at 24 weeks. And, the whole time they were telling me he was gone. He's gone, and I could have felt him kicking, and they were like, you're not going to survive a C-section because you're losing too much blood. And I just did what I had to do, and that was, I wanted them to save my child. And I shouldn't be here. And even though I understood when people were chanting back when he said, I'm not supposed to be here, if you watch the convention, and the RNC, the people at the RNC were saying, yes, you are. And yeah, that was a beautiful thing, and it was very moving to hear people say, yes, you are. But I know what he means. Like, I'm not supposed to be here. And that feeling has never left me. Now, it's not the same as a bullet coming to my head, but I don't know what else you would call it. I don't know what else you would call it. I don't know. I mean, you're talking about a breath. You're talking about, if you look at it, he was just turning his mouth to speak into the microphone. But now my husband was watching that last night, and they're saying, they're going back to where the helicopter took shots. When they went over the sloped, rooftop, and where the body was, it couldn't have been where the shot came from. And that's what my husband was saying. He's like, it's JFK all over again. It's the grassy knoll all over again. I don't know. And then, like, I don't appreciate people that make fun of Joe Biden. I'm not a Joe Biden fan. I never was. I didn't like him as a vice president to Obama. I didn't like him in Congress. That's my political opinion. I don't like him, but I certainly do not like anyone laughing at a man that it's very evident that he has an illness. And I'm very saddened by the fact that no one in his family, I shouldn't say that, but I just know that would not be my husband up there. They're waiting for this man to step down, and I don't think that he's capable, because my dad had Alzheimer's, and I say it all the time. Like, I've been saying this for 4 years. If I told my dad, pack your bags, the White House needs you, they want you to run the country, my father would have packed his bags. He would have been there. You know, I can laugh about it now, and my dad would have laughed about it, you know. But my dad had Alzheimer's, and, you know, even like during the debate, like, when he said to Trump, I told you I'd play golf with you, but you, as long as you carried your own bag. Like, that's when Trump said, I don't think he knows what he's saying. Like, I don't find anything funny about that. That breaks my heart. He's a man, and now he's a child again. And that's the way my dad was. My dad reverted back to being a little boy. It was like he forgot everything that caused him pain in his life when he got Alzheimer's. It was something that he feared, but let me tell you, my dad got peace because he carried around stuff with him his whole life. And he never forgot. He only forgot me once, but he didn't forget. He didn't forget that he had a son. He didn't forget he had a daughter. He didn't forget his wife. It didn't get that bad, but my dad let go of all the pain and heartache that he carried with him his whole life when it came to his family. And for that, I was grateful. And so he just reverted back to being a little boy. And I don't like, you know, I might not think that you're right for the country, but I don't know what you've done, you know, what you're accused of or what people are accusing you of. I don't know, but I know one thing. I am saddened by this disease, and I don't think it's appropriate to make fun of people that are, you know, can't climb up the steps and they're falling. And well, I can't really say that, you know. I do love a good funny fall. There are times I laugh at things and I'm like, I'm going right to hell. I shouldn't be laughing at this. But, you know, he's our president. You deserve respect. The office of the presidency deserves respect. You know, I don't care how you feel politically, but, you know, I think it saddens me. When he passed that remark about golfing and carrying your own bag, I was like, this is terrible. This is terrible. This is heartbreaking. I have such pain in my heart to hear that, you know, because as a man, I think that he would say, why the hell didn't you get me out of there? Why the hell did you let me keep going? That's just my opinion. You know, like I said, I don't just talk to dead people. I talk to people that are alive. Yeah, I just had this conversation before I turned this video on with my husband because he's perplexed about something. He said, can I pick your brain for a minute? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, John, you always know what to do. You've known what to do, and you keep trying to make this be something more. Like you've given it a good faith effort. You've done everything. And now I think it's just time for you to do what you originally wanted to do, which would have been okay. But you made a good faith effort. And now it's end it now. Just do what it is that you have to do. So, you know, I don't know. The whole world's going crazy. That's what I know. And you know, I have neighbors that just I remember saying to you guys, oh, my neighbors, I was sitting here sweating because my neighbors were having their compressor put in. they had no air conditioning, and I didn't want to put mine on because they were in the breezeway, and I didn't want these guys to be like, passing out from the heat. And so I didn't turn my air conditioner on. But when he bought this new compressor, he called my husband and he said, I need to move some stuff out of your alleyway. Is it okay? Can I move your chairs? Is Elisa home? And my husband said, oh yeah, don't worry about it. Don't bother Elisa. She's always busy doing something. You can move the chairs, which he did. And he said, and the new compressor's coming, but I think it might be over onto your property line. Is that okay? And my husband's very direct. He said, absolutely not. Because we're having work done. And now it's interfering with our work. And, he asked if it was okay. My husband said absolutely not. And he went and did it anyway. So that day, when it was being installed, my husband cut his day short, came home, went outside, and he knew the guy that was putting the compressor in. Because the guy that was putting the compressor in did work in his mother's house. And he said, oh, guess who's doing the work? I went, oh, that's fabulous. I said, see, all this worrying that you did about this compressor being over the property line, he'll make sure that it's not over the property line. And so my husband came home just to say, I'm so glad it's you and thank you. And I know you'll do a really good job and blah, 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 blah. And when he gets here, he had just taken the compressor out of the box and he had just put it in its spot. And my husband said, it's over the property line. And he's like, no, it's not. If you look at it from here, my husband's like, I'm not looking at it from there. I'm looking at it from here, and I'm having work done, and that's going to interfere, and you're going to have to move it. There's more than enough room in the front of the yard, but they don't want to put it in the front of the yard. They want to put it in the back. And so now it's like, well, if you think it's over your property line, then go get a survey done, which is like $2,000. And so the guy that's installing it says it's over the property line, but they don't want to move it. And I'm like, these are our neighbors. These are they were at our wedding. I mean, are you serious? Like, I mean, all you have to do is move it to the front, and they're refusing. And so my husband said, you know what? I'm going to sleep on this. I'm going to, ask him very nicely, to move this. And if he doesn't, then I'm just going to go ahead with my work. And if it chokes his compressor, where it's got to be taken out, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to have this confrontation, but they're moving. So I said to John, I said, I overheard that our neighbors are moving. I heard him talking outside to the other neighbor because he said, oh, I'm going to miss all this. Our backs are all open. And he's like, oh, I'm really going to miss this. I'm really going to miss, having, being able to come outside and talk to all my neighbors. I was like, where are you going? He's like, oh, well, I'm retiring this year and, we're ready to go. We want to have a big backyard. And I'm like, oh, all right. He's like, I think we're going to go out to Delaware. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, we're going to miss you guys. And here we are. Here we are with this Gumetia now on our back. And, my husband wrote him a letter, was being very nice about it, and he still has not answered the letter. And I can't wait to have my work done. And I said, well, you know what? I think we were pretty fair here. So why do I keep picking this up? Because I love it. Get it out of my hands. Let's get another one. And so that was going on in between the getting ready for this birthday party that's not happening. My husband had a full plate. He's got a band. He's got songs he had to rehearse. He had, his work, and then he's running over to go get, coolers and liquor and putting orders in for bread that we can pick up on the way in. And, it was a lot of work. And he certainly didn't need his neighbor being a jerk. So I'm just really shocked. I really am. I'm shocked that I'm not. So, they're leaving. So I guess, they really don't care. So that's what I mean. The whole world is just like, this is the way you want to leave. These are the terms that you want to leave on. And I guess so. So it's going to cost us about $2,000 to have a survey done, to have our property lines outlined. All because they couldn't, you know, I certainly wouldn't infringe if I said, listen, and it might go over, and if they, you know, unequivocally said, no way, no, I can't, you know, regardless if they're having work or not, I wouldn't do it. I'd be like, oh gosh, yeah, you know, it is over the property line. I'm so sorry. We'll just move it. I wouldn't say, oh well, I don't want this in the front of my yard. I don't want it inconveniencing me. The nerve. The nerve. But I don't know. So this black isn't looking too trashy. I could see a few that are broken. And I could see, you know, where there's some junk like that. And then did you ever pick up one of the drills where the back is hollowed out? Oh, that drives me nuts. Because when you pick it up, it looks like it's okay. And then you turn it around and it looks like crap. See, when I use these, I always have to start adjusting the drills because they don't fall into the drill space. And I end up skipping like a drill next to where I would go. And sometimes what I do is I take the first drill off so that I can hug it to the last drill that was placed, and then be able to get more of an accurate, like a bullseye. So there's a line of black, but that's over the line. Okay. Much like my neighbor's compressor. Oh my God. I'm cracking up, kids. The weather cooled and it's just so gloomy out. It reminds me of like when fall is almost here, but not really here. It's still summer. It's still hot, but you know, like right underneath it all, fall's on the way. You're going to be looking at pumpkins soon. Are we looking at pumpkins yet? I haven't been in any stores. I'm sure there's all pumpkin stuff out. There's probably Christmas stuff out too. So many stores are closing in my neighborhood because of theft. And it breaks my heart for the older people that are here that, you know, they rely on those stores. And now they're gone because, and it still kills me. Like sometimes when I'm out walking around and I see these older women walking around and they're still walking with the handbag on their, you know, on their arm. They're pushing a cart, you know, they got everything that they own in their handbag. Oh, part of me feels blessed that I did grow up in this time. Like my mother, now she tells me she's got COVID. And she's like, all I really want is chicken noodle soup from Boston Market. Well, that's easy. I'll just call Boston Market. I'll send it over via Grubhub. And I didn't tell her. And, good thing I didn't tell her because the Boston Market in her area was closed due to some kind of problem. And the one that was the next township over didn't have soup on. I'm like, I don't know who's crazier, me or her. Like, I know she doesn't feel good, but who's got soup on? It's like 110 out. Even though when I lived in Barbados for a little while. They ate soup every day at lunch because it cools your body temperature down. That was fun. My son had a blast living in Barbados. Okay, I think that's going to be a pen down sign for me, and calling it. I'm calling this video over. So I will see you guys. It's humid in here, and I hear my neighbor out in the back, so I don't know. I was going to go out in my back and read for a little bit, but anyway. I hope you guys are having a good Saturday. I am grateful that you were here with me for a little while. I had some notes here. I'm going to see if I went through them all. Yeah, just, I think I talked about the community and the camaraderie that we have here, and wanted to make sure that I got that in. And I love hearing from all of you, so please keep up the comments. And if you have any questions or you need advice, or you just want to share your thoughts, I'm here for all of it. As we wrap up today's session, I want to remind you that to take your time for self-care and to nurture your creative spirit. And thank you all for being here and making these sessions so special. And you saw me jump? It's because somebody's coming through the front door. I ended it just in time. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Self-Care Sunday. Wind down. Bye.